looking at our shoes?
I bet every one of you thought about what shoes to put on this morning. Let's roll.
Kyle, Chris McCaffrey running to the NFL rushing title last year may have gotten overlooked because you guys were in the midst of a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
How was that celebrated internally with you guys, and just how much of it is an effort to repeat that because it'll reflect team success?
Yeah, I think a lot of accomplishments of his might have gotten overlooked last year. He had the touchdown record going on, the rushing title. He's in the MVP race, All Pro Bowl. When you got so many accolades going on, sometimes it's hard to acknowledge all of them. But we try to appreciate everything in that room, and that's something Christian and I talk about every day, even now in training camp. Just appreciating the opportunity that we have to be out here with one another and to all work towards a common goal and just be the absolute best that we can. So we try to really appreciate that and not take for granted what we've done and what we can do.
With him, not practicing for the last week or so, he's freshening up, getting ready for the season. So, I guess what's his mindset do you see going into this year?
He always is super determined. He's always striving for more. It really is never enough for him, and you can see it's killing him not to be out there. He's always chomping at the bit, and he makes sure to remind me every day that he's getting a little bit closer. And he's going to have cleats on that grass here in no time, and he's going to be Christian McCaffrey. He's going to go do his thing and be one of the best players in the world.
Why is Bobby Turner still coaching at 75 years old?
Because he's the best in the world at what he does, and he loves it. I don't think there's anything else that he would rather be doing. He tells us all the time he'll wake up in the middle of the night and he'll just chuckle to himself about a joke that we've had in our room, and all of us laughing together, and just how tight of a group we are and how much success we've had together. And I think that's just what drives him. And I think he truly, truly loves the game, and he loves coaching, that room.
Christian, he coaches everyone hard, even Christian, even you. Does it sometimes take guys like rookies or guys that just get here a second to adjust to? It seems like a very old school style.
For sure. It definitely does. Because not everybody coaches the same. And like you said, he coaches very hard. He's going to be very strict. He's going to be making sure you're on top of every assignment. He doesn't let Christian and I, loosen up at any point. We got to be on our stuff. We're still, in my 8th year with him, I still do a running back test before every game. And those are a good 8 pages thick. And that's just, that's how he is. But I really truly have grown. I've always loved Bobby, but I each and every year I appreciate him even more. Because it is easy sometimes when you've done things for so long and you've done the same things to let up a little bit, to get just a little bit lackadaisical, but he makes sure that can never happen and that you are on top of it. And I've never gone into a game feeling unprepared. He makes sure you are always feel prepared and confident in everything you do.
Is that a written test?
Yes.
And that's on game day or like on every Friday?
You gotta turn it in the night before the game.
Do you guys use Scantrons for that?
It is a printed out written test.
When do you receive it during the week?
Typically right before we go on the plane when we travel, or Saturday morning if we're at home.
Do you have to ace it? What's a passing grade?
You know what? You don't get it back. Oh. You turn it in, but if there's anything alarming, he'll be sure to let you know.
Kyle, having said all that, I realize there's injuries and holdouts, but as a veteran, how much preseason time do you think you guys, that first team offense, needs just to kind of feel comfortable going into week 1?
Yeah, you know what? It's a case-by-case basis. I really think that really is kind of like a player-by-player thing. I know it always... it feels good for the first group to go out there and have a successful drive under your belt. And it just, you have that confidence that you already did it. But I'm quite confident either route that we go. If the starters play a little bit, great. If we don't take a single snap, great. It doesn't make too much of a difference to me. I think preseason, I think the biggest thing is for young guys, but there are veterans that need it too. So it's very much case by case.
Kyle, so much has been made about Brandon's contract status, but Trent isn't here at
Yeah.
all. What are you missing with him, not only on the field, but really in the locker room, just his presence generally?
Yeah, I mean, Trent's an incredible leader. He's got this aura around him that, obviously we all think so highly of him, and he's so talented, and people seem to gravitate to him. So when he's around, it builds a camaraderie. It definitely pushes other offensive linemen to meet that standard. But I really am confident that he'll be here soon, and I think we'll get things figured out.
Kyle, what's your mindset as a return guy with the new rules, and what do you think of like Garendo and Debo as returners? It seems, or Schrader and Debo as returners, they really look comfortable back there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting play. I'm quite excited for it once the regular season starts. I don't think you're going to see too much in preseason. Nobody wants to show anything, especially because it's never been done. But guys like Debo, like Garendo, like Schrader, they're going to fit that role very well because it's very much like a wide zone run play. In that you're kind of, you're catching the ball close, those are almost, those are your offensive linemen. And when you're pressing it like a wide zone, and you're kind of making one cut. And that's what those guys do every single day. So I think they fit that role pretty good.
Going back to Bobby T a little bit.
Say it again.
Going back to Bobby T, JP Mason told us that he had a little bit of a rough start with him. Was there a turning point that you saw? Go ahead and give an example of it.
I'm not going to put too much out there. But like we talked about earlier, sometimes it takes some getting used to a certain style of coaching. And when JP came here, Bobby T wasn't here. He was on a little leave of absence, and he showed up, I think, around like week 4 or 5 of that season. So, Bobby T hadn't been JP's coach yet. And so he was kind of, he's being coached in a different style. And so it just took time for him to adjust.
And how are the young guys, Schrader, Garendo, handling?
I think they've done a phenomenal job. I think what stands out with these rookies, for me at least, is their intelligence and their understanding of the playbook. I think they do a really good job, especially in meetings, just understanding their assignment. And when they do make mistakes, which we all make mistakes when we're in the heat of battle, even when you know what you're supposed to be doing, they do a great job of, like when we're watching the tape, before Bobby T can even get to the corrections, 9 times out of 10, they'll say exactly what they did wrong. And that's good. If you make a mistake and you don't know you made a mistake, now you're in trouble. But if you make a mistake and right away shoot, I wasn't supposed to do that, I was supposed to do this, it's a lot easier to clean up and move on from there.
Kyle, I remember even Brock as a rookie had an edge to him. Like guys were saying, "Wow, he's like this guy," and he would yell at guys if they weren't paying attention or whatever. But is that grown more? I mean, does he have more of an edge to him, or has he kind of stayed the same as far as that goes throughout his career?
I think it's kind of stayed the same because it was a pretty high bar from the beginning. I just love his understanding of the playbook has really grown, where he can point out when other people make mistakes very, very quickly. I love, third down, I'm in protection in the backfield. Like, he'll let me know as soon as we get lined up. He's like, "Hey, you're gonna be hot." Like, just like little things like that you can just tell, like, he has a full understanding of what's going on there. And it's not just what he has to know. Now he's kind of understanding what everyone else has to do.
Thanks, Juice.
Yep.
Thanks.